Good morning, everyone. Hey, Dope Soul. I've been jamming to that all morning. Hello, everyone. Afro-Human. Girl, how are we awake? We were on the labs live for like 3 hours last night, or in the wee hours of the morning. Hilarious. I am barely alive after that. Here's Sally, my Jack. Hey, hey. Listening while I clean up today. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hi, Annie. So, the whole point of today's live is to kind of go over some of the areas that we obviously know summer has, people have gone to Rogersville and Scotty Skulls. He went all over the damn place. But there was some particular areas that I wanted to talk about that I think someone or someone's knows something related to, obviously, Summer's disappearance and the people around Dawn and Candace. We have to think, we don't know all the facts of who, what, when, where, and how Summer disappeared. But we do know that they, Dawn and Candace, admittedly and openly, have had a drug history. They were obviously drinking and drugging during this entire case. It's not speculation, it's fact. Clean up my emails. Fair enough, I gotta do that. I've got like 1,000 emails on my work email and then a few hundred personal. Anyway, here's the thing. We can search all day long for Summer, which is what I would love to do when I go up to the vigil, to honor Summer and to honor law enforcement for putting up with YouTube creators in general. But who do we know are, let's say, enemies with Dawn and Candace, or maybe has a little bit of an issue with them and whatever went down during that time before Summer got gone? What we do know is that Hunter specifically said he went through this phone. There was a mention of Andy, the drug dealer, all of those things. So, let's look at some history real quick before we get started. Let me move that over. What are some consistencies around Beech Creek over the years? You know, you want to get a feel for the area, obviously, that you want to visit or is watching other creators go and visit, which Scotty Skulls has some big kahunas for doing that, because I'm a little scared to go creeping around Rogersville and anyone associated around there that has been busted for substances, right? So let's look at Beech Creek drug bust. Let's just put that in there. All right, here, boom. 32 convicted in federal drug trafficking probe. Damn. 32. Now, this was in 2013. All right. And I wanted to go over this because it's kind of important when you're thinking about where could Summer be? Period. All right. So prior to a massive federal drug roundup in Beech Creek last July, there were drug overdoses almost weekly in that rural Hawkins County community. Following a series of federal drug indictments and arrests in July of 2012, so there were more arrests in 2012. Seems like there was a drug epidemic in Rogersville, Beech Creek specifically. We all know this. This is not new. But Ronnie Lawson said the overdoses rate in Beech Creek has dropped to almost nothing Hi, Dream Big. All right. Almost nothing. So, overdoses were happening, probably because of the people around those who have been indicted for drug charges. Makes sense, right? Fair enough. So, it says on Wednesday, Attorney William Killian held a press conference in Rogersville to announce that 32 federal, hi Jennifer, 30 federal drug suspects who were the target of a 4-year investigation. 4 years. So let's go back 4 years from 2013. That's 2009. Huh, damn. So this has been a habitual problem, right? This is not new. This is not something that happened yesterday. So they pled guilty on distribution charges in connection with those indictments. Those defendants are now awaiting sentencing. Okay. So I'm just going to go backtrack here to 2012. Let's see what we get. James Light. We all know, if you haven't followed about, the Beech Creek druggie busts over, I think it was Justice for All and some other creators that went over some of this stuff. Woo-wee, look at that. Beech Creek man threatens HCSO over father's federal case. This is important, guys, because did y'all know that James Light's papa, whatever you want to call him, whatever he calls him, was a sheriff at one time? There was even a case in 1970, I think 9, about one of the Lights murdering a woman because she was leaving her husband for him and got gone. It's bananas. You could go and Google any of the Lights, any of the Morlocks, any of the Bernards, any of the Lawsons, or most of them, rather, and there is going to be some drama, some crime, and some drugs. And it does not take a rocket science to figure out where they live and how they came to be. So do you think that Beech Creek was intentionally set up to be what it is? I will let you decide that. So here's James Light, Mr. Arnold, and Mr. Kaywood. I forgot their names. Hold on a second. Oh, of course. Billy Grubb. See, it always goes away when I'm trying to... There we go. Let me go to another thing because it's going to want to make me pay. Man, the Rogersville Review does not want me to know this information. It keeps going off. So what did I say? 2012. Beech Creek drug bust. Hold on a second. I'm getting there. Drug indictment. It just keeps getting better. Hold on. Raid of high-level drug traffickers. It says too many requests. Is everybody literally wanting to know about Hawkins County drug trafficking? I doubt it. All right. A high-level drug trafficker accused of bringing large quantities of oxycodone pills into Hawkins County has been arrested. This was 2012. Hawkins County Sheriff's Office on the evening of June 3rd, 2011. Officers of the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office Narcotics Unit, along with the Tactical Unit and Drug Task Force, the TBI, the DEA, executed a narcotics-related search warrant at the home of Mr. Charles Thomas Lang. Y'all listen to this. Hi, Dory. At 250 Morrison Road, which is located in the Beech Creek community. Darn the luck. Beech Creek. This has been an ongoing investigation that led officers to eventually determine that Lang was a high-level trafficker and was responsible for bringing large quantities of oxycodone as well as other controlled substances into the Beech Creek community from other states for resale purposes. It gets better. Oh, I've heard of Ryan Larson, Irene. He all fits into this. There's a lot of people that fit into each other. But the main ones are the Lights, the Morlocks, the Dismores, they're sneaky. The Bernards, the Morrisons, the Lawsons, and many others. This had been an ongoing investigation that led officers to determine that Mr. Lang was a high-level trafficker and was responsible for bringing large quantities of oxycodone into the Beech Creek community, as we said. Mr. Lang, along with Mr. George Thomas Murr, that's another one, write that shit down, was located on the porch on Van Hill Road. You want to know where that is? I tell you. It's important. Yes, Irene. What was it? 4140 Van Hill Road. This is in Greenville. So Beech Creek kind of stretches out, which I believe Greenville is in Greene County. I could be wrong, but let me double check that. So, can't get back there. Can't get back into the private roads whenever you're trying to look it up. But you can look aerially, right? But you can't go down it on maps. Dang it. What is back there? Who owns it now? What's going on? There's a lot of little roads like that you cannot see, cannot look at. And who knows what's going on there? Happens a lot. Can't go down this way either. It's a dead end. Okay. There's a lot of little roads like that, y'all. And I would be deathly afraid to go down these things. You know? Not knowing what you're going to meet in your face. All right. So, George Thomas Murr, and Mr. Lang on the porch. Officers located several hundred oxycodone pills, along with several other controlled substances such as Xanax, clonazepam, Suboxone, marijuana, and several legend drugs that were recovered. Okay, so it's a drug bust. Listen to this. It was also discovered that Mr. Lang had one bedroom that was being utilized as an indoor marijuana grow operation with several growing plants. Several weapons, including handguns, shotguns, automatic assault rifles, were recovered. At the time of the press release, one of the weapons had been determined to be stolen. Imagine that. Several $1,000s in cash, which was located with the drugs, was also recovered and seized from the home. 2 vehicles were seized. Mr. Lang and Mr. Murr were placed in custody and later processed into the jail on these charges below. He was held on a $500,000 bond, and Mr. Murr is free on a $5,000 bond. Both are awaiting court dates of June 22nd, 2011. So, this guy, Mr. Lang, he is from a few areas surrounding Tennessee. Let me tell you what they found. Found out about him. Hi, Izzy. Listen, this was in 2020 that was updated. There's your Charles Thomas Lane. That's the louse. Right? He was allegedly linked to a Georgia pain clinic. That's where he got his dope to sell. And please, E. Burke Manuel, let's not talk about Ziggy. It's the last person I want to speak about. So a Hawkins County man who police say was a major narcotics distributor in the Beech Creek community may also be part owner of a pain clinic in Georgia. Hawkins County, Ronnie Lawson, said the federal drug enforcement agency is investigating allegations that Charles Lane is also part owner of the pain clinic. And that's how he got him. The location of that pain clinic is not released. So during that raid, all of those people, DEA, narcotics unit, and found all that shit, okay? Mr. Lang is responsible for importing huge quantities of pills into Hawkins County. Again, acquiring it from that pain clinic in Georgia. He took people to get pills. He sent people there to get pills. Pills were brought back to be sold. So this is Georgia. So there's one state included in this entire huge mess of Beech Creek and drugs, Hawkins County. Then you got North Carolina. Y'all have to think about all of the states surrounding right there. Or excuse me, South Carolina. And Virginia's right there bordering. So, and then you have Georgia. Just down the way there. So, as an accountant, I'm like, man, this pain clinic has to have financial statements or what's going on? All right? Where's the money? How are they laundering it? So, they looked at the book ledger. You know, all of the things, the ins and outs of the business, how much they make and how much they spend. And let me see where it's at. I just saw it. We seized ledgers and records documenting this drug activity. This is a multi-jurisdictional investigation. And there's a good chance Mr. Lang is also going to be facing federal charges, obviously. So, there's that. So let's go back real quick to the 2013 32 convicted druggies here. One being Charles Lane. Overall in that 2012-13 bust, 23 were permanent residents of Hawkins County or lived there. So that's telling me that 9 wasn't. And they were probably, more than likely, coming from out of state and going to Beech Creek to either sell drugs or distribute them somewhere else. Let me catch up with chat real quick. That's where Grandma goes to her pain clinic. Am I correct on that? I don't know that. What is going on in Hawkins County? Is Ronnie Lawson also involved in the drug dealing in the children? I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that he has a lot of family members who do that. Izzy just heard Kathy husband has child abuse charges. Wow. I've been looking into the connection between Beech Creek bust and Summers' case for a while. It was a big feather in Ronnie's cap when it went down. Well, okay, and that's what I'm going to get to. This illustrates the impact that drugs have on a community. As a result of this investigation and aggressive prosecution, We went from almost weekly overdoses to virtually none. The defendants brought this plague into their own community, plagued neighbors, friends, and own family members. We haven't finished in Beech Creek or other locations throughout the county, but we can say that as the result of this investigation, Beech Creek is a safer place to live. Maybe at 2013, after that short time of busting these 32 people, sure, I could probably bite that. But right now, that is not the case. Absolutely not. So let's go down the list of these 32 defendants. William A. Lawson, 66 of Rogersville. Randall Michael Lawson, Limestone. James Light, Kenneth Lawson, Tia Lawson. Elia Maria Camacho Garcia, Burlington, North Carolina. Brock Lawson. Jessica Lawson. Jeffrey M. Blesdo, Kingsport. Charles T. Lang of Boynton Beach. Jackie Dykes of Rogersville. This one's interesting. I have a video about the Churchill Fire Rescue Squad, and there was some money laundering taking place, some fraud from Wanda Dykes, who was charged with that. Anyway, Lauren Losel, Lisa A. Crawford, 37 of Rogersville. Virginia Ginger Light, Kermit Calhoun, Steve Gooch, Jonathan Light, Jeremy Light, Michael Dykes, Daniel Dykes, Christy Dykes, Levy D. Love, who is kind of well known for being the young punk piece of shit at the time. Shandita Compton, Jessica Bernard, Cody Arnold, Joyce Malone, Christopher Tipton, Abby Armstrong, Amanda Bernard, Chrissy C., Marvel Neal Sutherland. This is just 2013. So you get where I'm going with this, guys? These drug busts seem to be a habitual group, if you will. All right? So, if you go and Google this, it's very easy to find. You can go to mytennessee.gov. I just want y'all to be aware. The more you know, the more you grow, and the more you suffer, unfortunately. But you can go to tennessee.gov, and you can go and look under government. I believe it is called the FOIL system. And you can find who has felonies in Tennessee. Where is it at? I think I gotta Google it, sorry. Because it's pulling up the mobile version. You can actually also look up people who have meth charges, specifically just meth charges. Blew my mind. So let's just type in this FOIL program, whoever has a felony or whatever, or has had one. Let's put the Bernards. I just want to know. It has nothing to do with Andy or anybody. I just want to know. Random choice here. Give it a second. Oh, shit. Looky there. Now it's going to pull the whole state of Tennessee, okay? But I can promise you, if you just do some research, you can connect the dots of these people. Greenville, Charles Bernard, Charles Adam Bernard, Charles D. Bernard, Chuck Bernard, Courtney Bernard, Crystal Bernard, Dalton Tyler, Daniel Tyler, David Sean Bernard, David Wayne Bernard. If you go look up the lights, that's the longest list I've ever seen. Lord have mercy. And you can see what some information. So, getting back to the area and the map time, which isn't going to be too long, if you go and search all of these roads where all of these people have lived at one time or their family lives, I wouldn't want to go step foot in any of this at all, any of these back roads and shit. If you paid me $1 million, I would not step foot in there. Jody Sue even said it herself. You don't stop and hang out. You drive through Beech Creek in the Holler, but you don't stop. You keep going. You don't conversate. So, you have to think like a criminal, like Don and Candace. Why in God's green earth would you ever put her around the home long term, if that's what happened, if allegedly? Why would you? You wouldn't. Especially if you have connections that may, let's just say, owe you a favor, that are from all over. Georgia, Mississippi, Florida, Tennessee. North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, New York. Why would you need, to put her somewhere in Tennessee when you clearly have resources? Did somebody owe them a favor? Did somebody owe them for theft of these drugs? Did Don try to sell his own son, allegedly? There is so many options and possibilities, but you can't always get there. You can't always get to these roads without probably meeting Jesus for a minute, or praying to him anyway. Now, I'm not saying that she wasn't abducted and that's just fact. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I truly feel that some of these cases with false allegations, alleged abductions, sometimes, if you look at the history of the parents and the family and who they're around, it's always a background of drugs, criminal activity revolving those drugs, and controlled substances. Doesn't take a scientist to figure that out. So really, what we got to do is figure out the drama between who specifically. What happened when Jose, Andrew, and all those people came to live in a house they had no business living in? I'm going to keep going back to that. Why do they have people in their home where there's 4 children who are being neglected and potentially abused in multiple ways? Why are we waiting so long? Why did it take Jose so long to come out and speak? Here's my guess. All these drug busts that keep happening in that Beech Creek over and over, that's the only way they're going to go and step foot in that Holler. That's the only way. So in my opinion, maybe, just maybe, they're killing 2 birds with 1 stone in order to get to these places that they might think she is. Because they're not going to go in there. They're not going to step foot in there and assume shit. It has to be a full circle deal. And it makes sense to me that they would wait until that happens. Here's that Morrison Road, Morlock Road, Light Hollow, Light Road. You can't get down there. Can't get down there. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't want to. But you can't get, it's private. It's not on the maps. What are you going to do? You can't force a search warrant. So we're really focusing on what I think Dawn and Candace know better on, if she is even in Tennessee. I think that they're a lot smarter on a criminal level, as well as knowing people as criminal as they are around this area, period. So my thing is that I know that we all want to find Summer. Look, I'm part of EquiSearch. If y'all need me, I'll hightail it up there. But what I'm telling y'all is the probability of finding her without someone squeaking in Beech Creek, and y'all know who you are. You probably watch this shit every day. You know who you are. You heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody. Somebody knows. And I hate to say this, but I'll do anything for Summer, right? If you don't want your ass in federal prison forever, you need to speak up, because y'all are about to all get rounded up like roaches. It happens every 2 to 3 years with little busts in between. So I don't know why y'all are thinking y'all are going to get away with this. Somebody's going to know. Someone's going to find out something. Any idea how far Bravashon lives from there? It's a good question. Yeah, Dolly Mixture's good point. Valkyrie, I think it's Valkyrie something. Her channel is great. She breaks it down. She did it yesterday, but I haven't had a chance to watch it in depth because I've been working on this for a hot minute. But I don't want to go individualistically. There's so many. All you need to know is that the Lights, the Morlocks, the Dismores, the Morrisons, the Murs, the Bernards, they all intertwine in this drug fucking trafficking shit. And you have these little kingpins coming in from all over and setting up shop. And this is just where they do this. It's easy access to other places. Tennessee, there's a market for meth, pills, weed, and all that shit. That's what they do out here, period. So, in my opinion, as a law enforcement, if I was law enforcement, Ronnie knows what he knows is true. That works. We do these drug busts in increments with the DEA and the Narcotic Task Force and all that shit. That's what they do. And you're either going to find Summer that way in the Holler where nobody can go, or you don't want to go in, or somebody squeaks so that it prevents that from happening. Somebody's going to be the fall guy, but nobody wants to be the fall guy. I feel like you're going to start seeing murders pop up here. And this is just my opinion, y'all. This is very dangerous for me to even say this. You're going to see people getting murdered because those things are going to start popping up. In my opinion, Hawkins County law enforcement is getting bigger potatoes and using Summer and the information towards her as bait. This is what happens all across the country with these small backwoods areas or big backwoods areas where there's infinite possibilities of where this girl is. Go look for yourself. So, when I was sitting here looking down these back roads over and over, night after night, losing hours of sleep, losing all of this time away from my family, look, they're not going to just magically find her. You're not going to just magically find Summer. No matter what lies you've been told by these creators about somebody knowing where she is down the way. These are criminals. So until somebody puts some pressure in the right areas that breaks the pipe open, that informational high that you're going to try to get today after this video, you're going to go look for the drama. I mean, do what you do, spend your energy wisely or not, but y'all are going to have to hold on a hot minute, because one day you're just going to be sitting there eating your Cheerios and then bam, drug bust leads to this, and this. Summer Wells, we might have this and that. Information is what, is gold in these kind of cases, in these situations with drug trafficking. Summer's the pawn. And that's horrible. And shame on Dawn and Candace for knowing that. And shame on them for making this even worse for everybody in the Beech Creek and Rogersville, Hawkins County community who are not part of this shit. I feel for Appalachian people who are not part of this shit or who got out of this trafficking or drugs. It's not fair. They deserve better too. And that's all I have. I am going to make a video because I know y'all are going to be like, where's everybody living at? I want to know. So I'll give you your informational high. Just give me a few hours. I'll have it have it out there to you. But it's very interesting how it all connects. And this is all public information. It's not doxing. Don't get busted and indicted on a felony level 2 narcotics charge. And then your shit wouldn't be out in the open. So I'll have that out. But the gist of it is, you're going to have to wait. And creators that come out with this 4-hour timeline bullshit that Ronnie Lawson told somebody that used to work there, Ziggy, fuck you. And whoever spilt that information, fuck you too. Because you don't know. We have not heard it from law enforcement, and all you're doing is giving other creators who support people like Ziggy and all others a bigger platform. And I said what I said. We got to stop this shit. This cannot happen on the next case and the next case and the next case. This cannot continue. Period. This shit ends. And I don't want to be the drama channel. I don't. But I am about righting wrongs. Y'all go watch Cher's video last night. She nailed Ziggy. Nailed her. And people like Ziggy, Justice for All, they all support her because that's how they get their money too. Financial predators on the backs of missing children. Enough. All right, guys, I ran over. Love y'all. Please drink your water. I need to drink some water. Get some rest. Hug yourself. Hug your babies. Hug your grandbabies. Hug your fur babies. And I will talk to you guys on the next live. Bye. Have a great day.
ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh.